There's certainly days where I'm definitely not 100%, you know. I've come off a night shift, I've done 16 hours, I've seen things that, you know, are messing with my head, and that's just what I do, it's my job. But gym for me is something to release, you know, all the stresses that I have. You know, when I put my iPod in and I'm playing my tunes, it's an escape for me. So it's something I really love, and it's something that's helped me through a day where, you know, you might be having troubles at home or whatever it is in your life. For me, it's an escape. So yeah, I love it. I think everyone has their days where they're perhaps not at their best and not feeling, you know, ready and raring to go to jump into the gym, even though it's a passion. But I think at the end of the day, getting yourself up and getting yourself to the gym, and after that feeling, that pump that you get after gym, it's just, for those who train, you can't, it's no feeling that you can explain. You walk away thinking, thank God I did that. Look, I've been training my whole life from one sport or another. I was in equestrian up until I was about 18. Competitively, I rode for Australia. From there, I moved from the country into the city, so I needed something else to kind of give me that edge. And I met some people at my gym, and after 2 or 3 years of just training for the love of it, they said, "Oh, let's give it a go," you know. So literally 2 or 3 weeks before my first comp, they said, you know, let's get up on stage, let's give it a go, and yeah, I haven't looked back since.
For someone who is starting out, wants to look like you, doesn't know what they're doing, what do you recommend?
I would find somebody who has either been through it themselves, who can give you guidance, regular guidance, which is how I did it initially, someone who had been through those stages. I'd advise them to stay focused, set small goals rather than just the bigger picture. If it's not already a passion of yours to get to the gym and have that motivational when you're in, I think it's important to find somebody who motivates you, whether that's a coach, whether that's a best friend, whatever it is, that it gets you into the gym and start enjoying what you're doing, so that then you start seeing the results, you know, and once your body is changing, I think you'll find the motivation on your own to get in there and get leaner, and you'll want to eat well, because all of a sudden you're seeing the changes in your physique. That for me was the point where I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
Has there ever been a time that your job got in the way of your training, or your training got in the way of your job?
You know, if I finish work at 5 o'clock and I get a job, you know, at 4:59, I'm out for another 2 hours. There goes gym for the night. That can affect, you know, your mental state. So yeah, definitely is a hindrance to some degree.
How does preparing for competition affect your social life? Do your friends understand what you're doing?
Some things as simple as going out for dinner, going to celebrations, not being able to have a wine, you know, having to give all of those things up and trying to explain to somebody who doesn't understand. It really is a lifestyle that certain people understand, and I'm really fortunate to have some great friends both in the circle and outside, and they understand there's times in my life where they might not see me quite as much, and then they'll see lots of me, you know, and we make up for all the dinners and the wines that we miss.
Getting injured can be a devastating roadblock for any competitive athlete. Most athletes are fortunate enough to never experience a serious injury. Have you?
Definitely with my neck, yeah. I only did that 1.5 years ago. So I literally couldn't lift my head off a pillow for 2 or 3 months without assisting with my hands.
Wow.
So there was no training, there was no gym. So to take away something that you love, you can't go for a walk, you can't get in a car without pain. It was debilitating. Mentally, emotionally, it really took its toll. So to get back into training again and to get back on the stage was a huge deal for me. And I'm sure many people go through it. It's just one of those things, you know, the human body, sometimes it goes wrong. So it's a huge accomplishment for myself to be getting back on stage again.
I understand you have a certain endocrine disorder, polycystic ovary syndrome. How does it affect your training?
Polycystic ovaries basically means you have slightly more male hormones than female, and to the lay public that usually means more testosterone and harder, which is not the case. It actually stimulates an imbalance in utilising the glucose in your body, and you get an insulin resistance and you gain weight rather than lose weight. So as your hormones go out of whack, you often get side effects. You'll either get acne or weight gain, you'll get pain. Like 1 in 3 or 4 women have it in Australia, so it's really common, yeah, but until you conceive, you don't know you have it. So yeah, look, it's been a rough road trying to get my hormones intact, but finally I feel like I'm getting there, and I'm getting leaner and trying to get to my goal body.
How do you fit your training around your schedule at work?
Coming into comp, I've really struggled. I've also got an injury with my shoulder, and so coming from sort of a 10 to 14-hour shift, you are exhausted at the end of it. But everyone's got to work, and it's my choice, So, if I'm on a day shift, then I'll come and I'll train after work, or if I'm on a night shift, I'll sleep in as much as I can, train before work, and get in there and get it done. So, but I enjoy it, and I think that makes a difference, I love my job. I wouldn't stop it for the world.
You mentioned seeing some things on the job that can mess with your head. What kind of things?
Look, I think everyone has something for them. If you ask any paramedic, everyone has their one thing that they will take home and it will stay with them. I've been a paramedic for 5 years, and I worked in trauma for 6 years before that as a nurse. So there's very few things that really rock me, I'd say. I think I've seen most things that are traumatic. But there's certainly days where you go home, paediatrics, where kids are involved, where a child's never really at fault. It's usually an adult that's caused it. But, there's certain things that you'll certainly stay with you, and gym's been an outlet to, I'd say, not forget, but kind of release the tension. Find myself really grateful for my life and coming home in good health, seeing somebody younger than myself who just incapacitated or with injuries that you just kind of look in the mirror and you think, oh, I've got a bit of a sore shoulder from training today, and it kind of gives me a bit of a grounding, and every day I go to work I get that grounding and I come back and I'm like, you know what, I'm really lucky, push through that sore shoulder or push through that injury, you're going to be okay, because you know what, at the end of the day you're going to get better and other people won't.